Welcome back to the Grow Nutrition Business podcast powered by Healthy Steps Nutrition Mentoring. At HSN, our mission is to help people take control of their health one step at a time to prevent and reverse chronic disease. At HSN Mentoring, we use the proven framework that's helped over 50,000 people to help gym owners and coaches save time and not reinvent the wheel when building, launching, and growing a professional nutrition coaching program so that their members and community see better results and can take control of their health. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to take one step at a time to build a successful nutrition coaching program. Today's podcast guest is Nick Reyes. He is on the leadership team over at PushPress, and we talk about all things leadership in today's podcast. We talk specifically about his role in becoming a leader, how it has involved how he and his entire team work on leadership regularly, what it means to be a good leader to attract and retain amazing, engaged staff, and everything in between. We also talk about some of the incredible workflows and integrations between Healthy Steps Nutrition and PushPress. We have a long-standing relationship with them, and our goal is to make it easy for the gyms that are using our program to prioritize nutrition in their message. So we have website templates and workflows from challenge template, employee wellness, recipe pages for your website, and workflows from new lead all the way to existing member. Even some downloadable PDFs and workflows around capturing new leads as well. Our members absolutely love it, and it's a really great way to make sure people understand that you not only can help them with fitness, but you can help them with nutrition too. We're going to get to this episode right after this message. Did you know that the Gym Accelerator Summit is coming up in just a few months? This is our annual event in Nashville, Tennessee, April 3rd to the 5th. If you are a gym owner, manager, nutrition coach looking to really prioritize health in your gym, this is an event you don't want to miss. Our friends over at PushPress will be there. Dan's going to be giving a keynote. It's 2.5 days of fun, learning, and really walking away with actionable steps that you can level up your business. You do not want to miss this event. Make sure you click the link in the show notes so you can grab your ticket today. All right, let's dive into this episode with Nick. Nick, welcome back to the Grow Nutrition Business podcast. You've already been on here once, maybe twice. I'm not sure.
I think twice. Third time's a charm. That'd be awesome.
Man. Well, gosh, I feel like we've been doing so much together with PushPress over the past few years. I'm excited to talk a little bit about that, but then you've really evolved your role in PushPress into a big leadership role, and I've learned a lot from you from leadership. So I'm excited for everyone else to hear some insightful tips from you.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for having me on.
Cool. Let's talk. Let's go back. Like, we have known each other for, I was thinking about this morning, like almost a decade, that we've known each other when you were a gym owner before you were even super involved with PushPress.
Yeah. I remember owning, at the time it was CrossFit 913, and we did this perceived value survey of our clients, and remembered seeing like this steep fall off and trying to like pinpoint why that was. And my hypothesis was nutrition. And then I started looking up who are the game changers in nutrition. I found you, and that's really what kind of kickstarted getting involved with HSN.
Yeah. So you guys were using it at your gym, and then you pinged me. I think it was probably like Facebook Messenger, and you're like, "Hey, Nicole, I got this software. Like, I really want you to check it out." And so I was like, talk to Jason. He's the one that runs the gym. I don't really know. And then we switched over to PushPress for our gym management software. And then you guys launched Grow. And I was like, okay, this is a game changer. And then we started doing integrations to make it super easy for gyms that use PushPress and HSN.
Yeah. As I went through the coursework, back when we were getting set up with HSN and our team was going through the coursework, I kept thinking like, dang, PushPress can solve this and PushPress can do this. You know what? I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to reach out to Nicole and see if she responds to me. Right. And so then, just being able to, to serve the affiliate side of your business and see that build a relationship with Jason has been awesome. And then obviously, working through the integration with Grow, it just continues to just be collaborative and figure out, how can we work together to deliver value to gym owners and help them actually change the lives of the people in their community. It's been really awesome.
It's been so fun. I think one of the the big points for gym owners when building a nutrition program is getting nutrition to be a part of your message in email content, and then going to your social media and the website templates that we have available for HSN and PushPress clients, the recipe page, employee wellness page, the nutrition coaching page, make it so easy for gyms to be like, okay, yes, it is very obvious that I offer nutrition by my website, but then you take it a step further, and the workflows that are available for our mutual clients makes it super easy for them to integrate nutrition into the conversation. And ultimately, why that's important is you don't want it to be a surprise that you offer nutrition when you have a new lead coming in. And if you are intentionally with integrating nutrition on the front end, especially like when someone opts in for a price request, or books a discovery call or a free trial, if you've got success stories that talk about your nutrition and fitness clients and just simple nutrition tips, can be easier for you to get more people signed up for nutrition and fitness. And I remember us doing a training on like, okay, what's the value of nutrition and fitness clients? And the hypothesis that you had, okay, why are my members dropping off, turned out to be like the results of, nutrition and fitness clients being worth 2.5 times to your business, right? They stay twice as long. So not only are you helping people see better results, but they're sticking around longer. And then financially, you're able to make a greater impact for the business too. Triple
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the data doesn't lie, which is always great. And I think as a company, we look at how can we facilitate, experts like the HSN team so that the knowledge that you guys have can scale within all the different gym owners that you guys service. And so that integration would grow, and making sure that there's recipes on the website, that the workflows, like that's not we're a tech company. We want to let the workflows come from the experts in the industry, such as the HSN team. And so yeah, it's super excited for what we've built, and there's still more to do.
Yeah, I think I'm excited about the new reports and stuff that we're going to be building out in 2025. Really excited about that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's switch gears. All about leadership. Were a gym owner, transitioned out of gym ownership, was working with PushPress, and now you have a pretty big leadership role and lead a lot of people. Talk to me about kind of the transition of how that's evolved, and where you're at now in regards to leadership.
Yeah, it started. I was the first employee, so I joined the three founders of PushPress, Chris, Dan, and Brian. They all lived in LA. I was the first employee in Kansas City. Um, on my own dime, flew out to go meet them at a little, retreat that the three of them were having. I think it was really just like a weekend slumber party where they could code together. And so started as a team of one, and really kind of kicked off being a remote company whenever they brought me on board. In fact, they all three still had full-time jobs. And so it was the very early days of a startup, as you can imagine. And then, all the way over the years, from hiring within the sales org, within the, we call it CX, customer experience org, that's support, that's ongoing success, implementation, and onboarding, and then also within the marketing org. And now we are closing in on 100 team members. All three of those departments plus revenue operations roll up to me, and about 50-ish individuals, or a little over that, roll up to me in some way, shape, or form. So it's been quite the trajectory of growth, and really a lot of learning, kind of trial by fire over the last 7 years.
Yeah, I can imagine, because at your gym, you didn't have 100 people that you were employing, or 50 people that reported directly to you. Gosh, I think probably so many lessons that you learned. Talk to me about some of those lessons that you learned at the beginning and even now.
Yeah, whenever I first got introduced into leadership, it was in the Marine Corps. So I served in the Marine Corps for 6 years. The Marine Corps really prides itself on small unit leadership. And so your very first introduction, and a lot of these individuals are teenagers, and you are responsible for, what they call a fire team, just a small group of 2 to 3 other individuals. And then from a fire team, you can actually get promoted to a squad leader, then platoon, and it continues to grow from there. So you really learn with just a couple individuals, and it parallels exactly what we've done at PushPress, where starting as one, and then it's like Can you build out a sales org? You need to make your first hire, and you're going through that process. And then it's like, well, now you have to promote someone to a leadership role. Now you're going to lead a leader, and you're going to keep slowly chipping away. And there's so many parallels to a gym in that regard, because as a gym, a lot of times you're opening the doors and it's you, maybe a business partner. There's no coaching staff. At some point, you're going to cross over and bring on your first coach. Congrats, you're a leader, right? So the trial by fire is very, very real, and they all have different stages, different learning lessons along the way that unlock the ability to maybe move to the next stage of leadership. So that's kind of a little bit of how it parallels, and I think of how I've grown in doing a little reflection on this for our sales kickoff earlier this year. One of the things that I think maybe a lot of leadership counseling, I want to say they get it wrong, but they maybe slightly miss, is just what's the foundation of all things related to like building a winning culture and creating a better framework for how to think about leadership. And most would tend to go into trust as the building block and center, and like this your center point in which to
Mm-hmm.
step off on. And I tend to view it as belief and having mutual beliefs. And
Mm,
so an example of this would be something like you interview someone for belief and aligned beliefs in mission and in values. And do you believe that they are going to, uphold your standards that you have as a leader? And really, you can't even get to the next level of building trust unless you have that belief, those shared beliefs. And so that's been one of the turning moments for me as I really reflected on what the last 7 years has brought.
I would venture to say that would probably be a different way that you interview people from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think as business owners, we talk a lot about like, oh, it's important to have core values. It's important to have a mission statement. It's absolutely critical you have them. And heck, I don't even think we had them at the gym until we were a couple years in, and it was one of those misses that, and we got lucky, right? Like we just had people who were somewhat like-minded, but not having them and then not interviewing by them really has the potential to steer you off course really quickly. And so you have them, you interview by them, and then you have to live through them and reiterate them into your stand-up meetings, into how you counsel, how you coach. It has to make its way into every crevice of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you don't, you're going to end up having a culture problem or a, an issue that I see a lot of times is turnover with coaching staff, right? And, we know it's exponentially more costly to hire new employees than to retain and build from within. And if we're not starting with a good foundation, we're going to have a higher turnover for our staff. And that's a problem that I hear from so many from owners and leadership teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I think in fitness, just because so many people connect to fitness in so many ways, there's maybe a higher potential for um, getting lucky, so to say, and aligning somewhat on beliefs, or
Yeah.
even feeling like you align on beliefs,
Hmm.
but maybe you really don't, right? Like maybe someone's belief on how to deliver fitness doesn't include nutrition, and you have that person on your staff, but your belief, your core belief, does include it. All of a sudden, when it comes time to, you know, bring in a game-changing solution like HSN into your business, and you see a coach not actually want to pick up the ball and run with it, that's a miss at the belief level that will completely throw off the rest of the relationship.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, you have to have alignment and your staff needs to understand why. Like, we're not just adding a nutrition program to add more revenue to the business. We're adding a nutrition program because in order to serve our members and help them take control of their health, we have to address the other 23 hours of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Your leadership probably has evolved over the years, since starting with Push Press. Where do you learn and how have you developed as a leader over the years? What are some of the people that you follow and, books that you've read, that sort of thing?
I have pulled a lot from my time in the Marine Corps. There were
Mhm.
two individuals, and they are quite a bit older than me at this point. Master Sergeant Sherrard, Gunnery Sergeant Sink. They, gosh, kept me from going off course as a young Marine so many times, and I have zero doubt that my life would have ended up so differently if it weren't for them counseling me and helping me grow. And there's so many little things that I always hear in the back of my mind and recall the memories of when I misstepped and they could have completely thrown the book at me or come down hard on me. And they would instead pull me along and teach me. And it was such a valuable lesson. Those two, just so many small uh, introductions into leadership and really just having an awareness, I think, and saying like, who's doing it right and who do I want to follow as a young man. Um, so they were influential. I had another boss that when I worked for Caterpillar, sales leader who just words of wisdom all the time. That was great. And then finally, recently it's been Dan. It's been our CEO. And for those who don't know Dan, one of the ways that he leads, he has this innate ability to be humble about the things he doesn't know and admit that he doesn't understand. And what's interesting is, we've grown a lot lately. We've hired a lot of people, and people come into the org, and there's this intimidation over the CEO. And, when he says something like, we better do it type of thing. But when Dan, it is he suggests things and he's admitted he wants the debate and he wants to be proven wrong and he wants someone else to teach him something to the point where we were talking before we went live. He recognized a flaw in his own ability to lead because he didn't want to step on stage and deliver messaging. And so for the last 18 months, he was just like, forget it. I'm going to go get on every stage I can. And it's going to be painful and I'm going to be nervous and it's going to hurt, but I'm going to do it because it's what I need to do in order to lead this company. And it was a moment of humble, it just humility and watching him go through that is like very inspirational.
I can say from personal experience, knowing Dan and getting to present alongside him over the past couple years, like what a transformation that he's made, knowing too, like, hey, I'm going to have to work on things. And he would do things like I remember him speaking at our HQ location. We hosted like a regional event a few years ago, and he spoke, and then he asked for it to be recorded so that he could watch the recording and realize where he needed to do better. And then he came up to me afterwards and was like, "Hey, Nicole, what should I do better?" And I think as a leader, like sometimes it's a little bit hard. Like, where do you go for feedback? And he is so good at, man, what a transformation. And the cool thing is because he's worked on that skill, he's been able to inspire so many people to take action on different things because he has developed that skill. And I still refer back to this day to the stuff that he talks about in keynotes because it's so impactful and he's done such a good job. So, I think that's a true testament of developing in this, areas that we all need to develop so that ultimately you can make a greater impact. And he realized like, hey, if we're going to make the impact with push press, I need to go talk on stages about what are the best gyms doing? What are the people doing that are seeing the best results, that are making the best impact? And because he crafted and really worked on that craft, and he's still working. I saw a post by him today. He's like, every night I'm working
Yep.
on my speaking skills till December or
He,
something like that.
he just joined a speaking a live class called Ultra Speaking. Ultra Speaking is absolutely amazing. I do these Ultra Speaking games every day, and he introduced me to the it's like ultraspeaking.com or ultraspeaking.app. Um, and so he pays money out of his own pocket now to go and take that to the next level. And I guess that's maybe another thing that's important to understand about maybe the culture of push press and where some of the leadership stuff trickles down. I have three coaches and advisors right now. And it is expected, especially if you're in a leadership role, that you have a coach, you have an advisor. It may be in a specific discipline like customer experience or scaling support. It may be in speaking. It may be in leadership. It may be communication, right? But that starts with Dan. So you want to talk about the impact of leadership when you have a CEO that says, I'm going to spend money for a CEO coach and I expect everyone to have one. Suddenly that humility and the ability to be coached perpetuates the entire organization. And then there's not as much ego. There's not as much, I know everything. It's more, I'm learning things. What are you learning? Fosters a collaborative environment, right? So it's can be so impactful when you have that person at the top that views themselves as not being the end all be all, egotistical, I'm the expert, right?
Yeah, I think it's so important to ask for feedback. How do you seek out feedback? And do you seek out feedback on both sides, people that you're leading, and then obviously Dan provides you feedback too?
Yeah, so feedback from a few different areas. Obviously, from my direct reports, my team, which they're freaking amazing, and having honest conversations with them and being willing to say even little things like, how was that meeting ran? Did that actually give you value? Those are those little
Mm,
micro checkpoints that you can get. Make sure you're not wasting someone's time. If they feel like you're wasting their time, then all of a sudden they're not going to respect you, follow as well, right? So like you can do these little checkpoints along the way with your direct reports, obviously with your direct supervisor as well. And if they're doing skip meetings or something along those lines, which I know in a gym environment, you typically don't have as big of a staff in order to do that, but you can still get 360 reviews, right? So in a gym, the closest thing would be, as the owner, can I get a review of Coach A from Coach B?
mm-hmm,
And say like, how's that interaction been with Coach B or with Coach A? Are they helpful? Are they, and go through what would make that individual a high performer and get their opinion of it.
that's good. And then also you getting feedback too, right? I think sometimes when we're the owner of a business, it's tough if there's no one else. Like, where's Dan getting feedback from? He's
Yeah.
hiring a CEO coach, right?
Yep.
If you're an owner, where are you getting feedback from to grow and, level up so that everyone around you wants to level up?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's such a like the importance of building a network and leaning into that network, and just asking for coaching. The just the pure ability to reach out to someone else and say, hey, can you come and sit in on my monthly or my weekly staff meeting? Be a fly
Mm,
on the wall and just tell me whether or not like I delivered this message. Were people
mm,
paying attention? Are they bought into it? How could I improve it? It doesn't need to be, just needs to be someone that you respect. And it doesn't need to be like, some high paid, expensive coach, although obviously there's experts at these things, but just
mm,
just going in that route. And you can
mm,
even tell the rest of your team, hey,
mm,
this is Nicole. She's from HSN. She's just going to sit in on our staff meeting today in order to help coach me and make sure that I'm, leading this team effectively and delivering the message that I'm trying to deliver today. So pay her no mind, guys. She's here to coach me, not you. And all of a sudden, the team's going to look at that and they're going to
mm.
say, wow,
Yeah.
Nick went out of his way to bring Nicole in. This is cool.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I think as you were mentioning this, I think another really big benefit of live events is just getting connected with other gym owners who are a few steps ahead of you and going to like the summits where Dan and I are speaking or like the Gym Accelerator Summit, our event in Nashville that you guys are a really big part of. It's amazing to get in those conversations with gym owners. Hey, what are you doing? But then have the humility to say like, everything's not perfect at my gym. Like, we got some problems. How have you guys handled this problem before? Because guarantee someone else has already been there. Guarantee.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's so much importance around community. And I think the CrossFit community probably handles this better than most because they actually, get together. There is connection, whether it's from local events and gym owners meeting at local events. And you maybe don't see this in other fitness modalities, or other business types, right? Unless you're a part of a franchise or something like that. But 100% agree go to them, go to those events, create those connections, lean into the other group of, fitness business owners, and be willing to drop the ego of we have X number of members, we make Y amount of revenue, and instead lean into we're trying to change our community, you're trying to change your community. We have that in common. Can you help me and can I help you? And I think
Hmm.
that's super powerful.
I think going into those events with like, hey, here's the problem that I'm looking to solve, and having really a good amount of clarity on what's the main thing that you want to take away so that you can find the people to help you solve that problem is so important and so impactful. Um, I think going to these events or just talking to other gym owners or searching the web, there's a million different bright and shiny objects that gym owners could do. And, you know, there's a level of decisiveness that needs to happen. And sometimes there's a lot of different options and it can get pulled away from, hey, where's the core thing that we're working on? What is our mission? How do we balance the need for decisiveness and the million different options, and the importance of also like getting different perspectives? Is ultimately like, you as a leader, you have one lens, right? So
Mhm.
how do you balance, getting different perspectives and going in a direction that makes sense for the vision of your business?
Yeah, Dan and I talk a lot about, the Amazon one-way door versus two-way door concept. And that can really help maybe control the tempo or the speed of decision. And so essentially think of it as if I make this decision, is there no turning back,
Mm.
right? The decision of moving my business location. That's a
Mm-hmm.
one-way door. The minute you
Mm-hmm.
sign the lease and it's a contract, you're moving, and it better be a dang good decision. You better have put some real thought into it. And that is one where I would not rush to speed. And I would definitely rely on external counsel, coaching in order to help make sure that that decision is sound. If it's a two-way door, you can walk out the door and you can turn around and go, that was a mistake, and you can walk right back in, right? And so uh, those decisions I think you can make with some speed and with a little bit less data, a little bit more gut feeling. And so that tends to be, we see it surfaced a lot within push press, where you'll see some dialogue back and forth in Slack. Should we do this, that, blah, 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 blah. And then, Dan or myself or someone will chime in and go, just one way or two way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like enough of the chatter.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a one way, get on a call, work through it. If it's a two-way door, someone make the decision and go. Right. So balancing that is probably, or understanding that concept is one of the more critical ones, I think.
Yeah, I've never heard that before, but I like that for sure. I know for us, I worked with Michael Hyatt as a mentor for a while, and he does a lot of leadership stuff. And he has this concept around big three, like annually look at what are the main initiatives at the end of the year, like what are the big things that you want to accomplish. And then there's a filter. Like, does this shiny object fall into one of these initiatives or does it not? Is this something that is taking my eye off the ball? And I know for us, that's really helped because there's a lot of things that we could do, but does it make the most amount of sense with financial resources and all of the things that we've got going on? Is it really going to move the needle forward in the initiatives that we're wanting to accomplish? And I think sometimes we don't have clarity on what are the main things that we want to do. And then it's like all over the place. And
Yeah.
it ends up, sometimes we're doing 20% effort on things and it's not done the best way when we could put all of our focus on a thing, especially if you have a smaller team. Like, you guys have a big team, so you could do a lot of different things versus if you're a gym owner and you have a couple part-time employees. Like, you want to make sure that you're investing your time well because you only have 24 hours in a day.
Yep. Yep. Annual planning, right? And what's the mission of the year? What's the North Star metric that we are going to really work as an organization in order to move the needle on? Those concepts are all super critical because, yeah, otherwise you will get shiny object syndrome. I think it's something that actually really plagued us at Push Press for a lot of our early years. And I think it obviously affects gym owners as well because when you are a creative brain that also wants to serve, you will get pulled into every direction under the sun.
Yeah.
And that's a gift and a curse in a lot of ways. So having conviction in direction, you know, we want to help 100 clients lose X amount of weight, and that is our mission for the year. And we're going to dedicate 80% of our time and resources to it, and 20% we will use for experimenting with shiny objects. And just having that frank conversation with the team, I think, can be very impactful too.
I think it's also helpful for you, once you figure out where you're going, to get your team aligned on where you're going, because then they're not going to present a ton of bright and shiny objects. I remember talking to or listening to Fern talk at one of the welcome things like lunch and learns that we did at a summit this year, and he was talking about staff coming to him with like a lot of different options that they wanted to do, and unfortunately turned them all down, and they took it personal, when in reality, if he would have just laid out, here's where we're going, you'll have less options presented to you because people will know where you're going.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's a if you haven't heard of like OKR frameworks, made super popular by Google in their early days, still used at Google today, as far as I know. But it's objectives and key results. And so
Mm,
this is all part of like our annual planning and, what are the different objectives of each department? What are the key results that will indicate whether or not we're on the right path? And
mhm,
then when something gets presented,
mhm,
to your point, it's like, does this advance this overarching initiative within sales or within
mhm,
marketing or whatever the department is? And
mhm,
as long as the answer is yes, cool, we can consider it. If the answer
mhm.
is no, sorry, we don't have time for it.
Yeah, put it on the back burner and then
Yep.
we can revisit later. No, I want to mention one thing that I actually learned this from Dan, from the keynote that he started with years ago. He talked about North Star metric and getting people getting check-ins, right? You want check-ins. And I think it was like 13 or 14 times a month that he said, like, if people are checking in that many times, people will not leave. And
Mhm.
so I had mentioned that during one of our meetings in a gym. CrossFit Rome said, "Hey, Nicole, we do this thing and it sounds so stupid, but we have like a custom sticker every single month that if people hit the 14 times a month, they get a sticker, like their name goes on a board. There's a sticker that's taped there, and then they take it and they can do whatever with it." And this was like a year and a half ago. And so fast forward like 6 months, there were probably 50 gyms in HSN that took this guy's idea and were like, okay, yeah, we're going to do it. And then they start talking about, man, the amount of people that are hitting this because of a stupid sticker is incredible. So last year, at the end of last year, I was like, all right, we're going to start the sticker club. Like, I don't put as much effort into the gym as I probably need to. Jason runs the gym. He does a really great job. But some of these creative things that I hear from mentoring, I'm like, all right, we need to do this. So I do it. We've doubled the amount of people that are hitting the number that they needed to hit by doing a stupid sticker. And we started giving these Yeti cups, not this exact one, but a custom Yeti cup. If they do 3 months in a row, and then there's these stickers, and I even made a special one for Chad if people did Chad. The What people will do for a silly sticker works
Mhm.
so well, and all comes down to like going back to Dan, like Dan presenting this idea and then someone saying like, hey, well, this is what we do to reward people that hit the number that he's saying to hit, and it's worked drastically. So this episode will go out before the end of the year, and hopefully gym owner will be like, all right, I've heard this for a while, I heard Dan say that, I didn't do anything with it, I'm going to implement the sticker club, and then you can let us know how much more successful you are with people hitting the metric. People come up to me and they say, Nicole, I never got, 15 times a month is our thing. I've never like made sure that I did 15 times a month, but this stupid sticker makes me want to get the 15 times a month, and I'll come in an extra day or two the last week to make sure that I'm getting my 15 days. I'm like, who would have guessed? A
The,
silly
the,
sticker.
the power of a North Star metric in any organization or any culture is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And Uh, side note, we are releasing a new committed club functionality inside of PushPress before the end of the year.
Okay.
So super excited to see that launch. I know the team's been working really hard on it, and it really came from the exact data and keynote that that Dan delivered. And so, uh, but going back to the sticker thing, I would essentially categorize that as gamification.
Yeah.
And It is so strong. It's if you look at the Starbucks app is like a perfect example of adult gamification where you get stars for cups of coffee that then at one point you redeem them for something and you could get this gold status versus a platinum status. Like gamification works. And the
Mm-hmm.
amount of time that I've heard a friend say, "Oh, I need to go to Starbucks. I got to finish getting a star." It's the same thing as the sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah, humans are just susceptible to it. So,
Yeah.
yes, it is weird that a sticker works as well as it does, but I would highly encourage anyone listening to this to roll out a committed club and give away some dang stickers.
Yeah. We did this and then I was like, let's talk about what would that North Star be for nutrition. And with us, habit-based coaching program, 80% compliance with your nutrition, staying consistent with the habit increases the results, right? People are so worried about the end result, but it comes from being consistent with the habit. So if you're looking at what is the North Star for a nutrition coaching program, consistency with the habits would be because it's going to end up giving you the results. If people are seeing results, they're going to stick around longer, they're going to be more engaged, your program will be more successful. So with habit-based coaching, the success is based on consistency. At HSN, 80% compliance is what we're shooting for, that number. Cool. Any other things around leadership that you want to bring up today? So many good topics. This is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I were going to, wrap up and maybe a theme here, it's like you got to have aligned beliefs with your team.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you start to build trust. I view trust as I call it like a banking system. So it's frequent, repeated, positive interactions with an individual. There's actually like a magic ratio of 4 deposits for every 1 withdrawal, right? So
Okay.
a deposit would be something as simple as I greeted every person by name now because and that should be part of the expectation as humans is, hey Nicole, how are you, not
Mm-hmm.
what's up, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so now a withdrawal would be you expect me to greet you by name and I don't. So it is
Mm-hmm.
the absence of doing what is expected.
Mm-hmm.
You start class on time, 1 minute late, you are not doing what's expected of you. That is a trust withdrawal,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that goes with every individual that you interact with. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
aligned beliefs, you keep to that ratio of 4 deposits for every 1 withdrawal. You'll
Mm,
begin building trust with your team.
mm, mm,
Only after you have trust can you actually start having real, honest conversations with your
mm,
team. Hey, we want to implement this sticker program.
mhm,
Well, I don't agree with that, and being able to actually facilitate those conversations and having that debate, as long as you trust each other and you have shared beliefs, that'll actually manifest into meaningful conversations that will allow you to operate, right? Like be an operator of your business. And if
mm,
you can be an operator in your business and adjust as needed, that's where you get results. So
mm,
businesses who can't move and adjust as the market changes, as dynamics within their business change, get paralyzed, they get stuck, they're not able to actually advance the mission. And they're the ones who end up seeing churn, closing their doors, going out of business. So the entire framework of being a leader within your org and for your team and for your members really is pivotal to the results of the business and your ability to drive the mission. So I can't underemphasize this enough for gym owners, and as maybe a symptom of if you're not getting the results that you want, it's maybe hard to hear, but one place to look is internal to
mm.
yourself.
That's good. That's really good. I think most people, many gym owners might know where to start, not know where to start. So start with you and, really figure out where are you going? What are your core beliefs? Start talking to, clear communication and consistency is another big thing. I don't think as a leader you can communicate too often to ensure everyone's on the same page and they know. Um, I've been around other organizations before where everyone finds out everything at the same time or through another third party, and it's frustrating being a part of a an employee of an organization, if you're not talking to the employees first, your key members first, and then, cascade communication, they call it, right? That's going to build trust. Make sure that the people who your members are going to talk to, make sure that they know what's going on before, so that there doesn't need to be friction there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Communication's key. I mean, you go back to building trust through communication. It's I trust that if I need Nicole, she's available. Now,
Mm,
all of a sudden, I need her. She's not available. Okay, yeah, that might be, one withdrawal. But you know what? We've made a lot of deposits. It's fine. I get it. She's busy. Now, the next time I need her, she's
mm.
not available. The next time I need her, she's not available. All of a sudden, we're at a deficit, right? We're overdrawn on our trust bank account.
We don't
So
want that. We don't
we
want
don't
that.
want
We want a
that.
positive trust bank account here.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we'll jam on this at gas.
Yes, that would be really fun. I think that would be awesome since you're going this year.
I am.
Uh, I'm gonna put some information in the show notes about the integration that we have, the website integrations with PushPress and the workflows for our mutual clients. For gyms that sign up, we actually added a PushPress integration call, as we call it, so that Melinda, who did all of the workflows, can help people customize them and make the best use of all of those workflows. So it makes it really easy. If you're with PushPress Core and you're not using Grow, I can tell you from personal experience, you're missing out, and it really is a game changer to help you be able to streamline everything, re-engage people. You don't know this yet. None of PushPress knows this yet, but we're creating a new workflow that will be released at the end of the year. That is a re-engagement for your email list around nutrition. Everyone wants to lose weight in the new year. They've got nutrition goals, and we are creating a new workflow for people leading up to the new year and the first couple weeks of the new year to help with re-engaging people around nutrition. That could go to members, but then also I'm sure you hopefully have people on an email list that are not paying you for nutrition, that you can re-engage them just with nutrition, or if you're planning to launch a nutrition challenge at the end of the year, through a nutrition challenge and move them into ongoing nutrition coaching. Really good strategy to get more people integrated to a nutrition program. So excited about that coming up. That'll be available for everyone that has Grow already, and then that are mutual clients, and then everyone in the future.
That is brilliant. I didn't know that. That is awesome.
Yeah, we were talking. I was talking to Melinda a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey, I've got this idea. Rick, our videographer, is coming in town. I'm just going to record the videos, so technically any gym can use them." Because I think one of the hangups with gyms is we have these emails and we say you need to make a video, but most gyms don't want to make videos. And I was like, "What if I just make the video so that any gym can put it in there, and the call to action is not go to Healthy Steps Nutrition. It's like generic, so that it would make sense if Kansas City used it. It would be totally fine."
Mhm.
So that's what it will come with. And if gyms want to swap it out and add their own video, cool. But at least there'll be video in there, because we know that if there are videos in your emails, there's a 300% increase in engagement. More people engage and recognize what you can do. They understand how passionate you are. It's going to be easier for them to get started with you. So if you don't use videos in your email, start doing that.
Use video. Use video.
Use
At,
videos.
at least use what Nicole gives you. Please, please, please.
At a minimum. Well, Nick, thank you so much for everything. I'm excited that we'll be able to see each other a little bit more in person this year at summits, at the Gym Accelerator Summit. And we'll definitely have you come on the podcast again, talk all things leadership.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to next year.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Nick on leadership, and you have a little bit more of an insight on what the integrations look like between PushPress and HSN. We always get questions from PushPress clients because they see the nutrition reporting app, which just shows nutrition reporting. And if your business isn't making any money with nutrition, it's going to say $0. But our goal is to help increase that, because that means you're impacting more lives. One of the things that stood out to me and what Nick talked about, and what I see watching PushPress and working with them closely, is that they're all developing in leadership. When is the last time that you developed, invested time, energy, resources into professional development? As coaches, you might take another certification, but as an owner, what are you doing to level up your leadership and take your business to the next level? We would absolutely love for you to join us at the Gym Accelerator Summit in Nashville, Tennessee, April 3rd to the 5th. This is an incredible event with a focus on bridging the gap between fitness and health inside of our gym. Imagine being surrounded with 250 other gym owners, managers, and some nutrition coaches who are really looking to prioritize health inside of their gym. We'll be discussing things like building employee wellness programs, launching nutrition-only programs, healthcare partnerships. We have our friends over at Best Hour and PushPress doing some guest keynotes, and then we'll have breakout sessions where we take a deeper dive into specific topics like postpartum nutrition, GLP-1s, employee wellness, and also diving into the free intro. When I look at the gyms that are the most successful with building nutrition coaching programs, they have a creative transformation offer that encompasses nutrition, fitness, and accountability. When someone comes in looking to lose weight, get in shape, feel better, they guide people to that option. Do you have that option? Are you actually selling and guiding people to that option? Are people signing up for it? If you're looking to engage more people in a nutrition coaching program, the Gym Accelerator Summit is the way to go. We would love to see you there. This event is open to the public. If you're a gym owner, manager, or coach, we would love to see you there. Make sure that you click the link in the show notes and lock in your ticket today.